Alright, you may hear my Xbox making noise. It's simulating a match on WWE 2K20 right now, provided it doesn't crash while I'm doing this review. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, the Toy Maker. Wow, they were just putting anything out there and calling it Silent Night, Deadly Night, weren't they? Hey, at least this has a guy dressed as Santa Claus for, there's a killer Santa Claus, sort of, maybe not. Okay, this one is all over the place. Alright. This was directed by Martin Kittrosser, but it brought back Screaming Mad George to do the effects, which are less creepy than the last one. So, the story is that there is this store owner named Joe Petto, and I know what you're thinking. What now? Petto? That's not what it's supposed to mean. Joe Petto is in Geppetto. His son's name is Pino. It's in Pinocchio. That's what they were going for. And these toys are showing up and they killing people. Don't worry. It's not as exciting as you may think. First scene of this is the little boy, our main little boy character of the film, Derek. He gets this present on his front porch. And inside is this little Santa Claus ball that kills his quote-unquote father. We find out later that it wasn't his father, it was his stepfather, but he didn't know that. And so now we got we introduced to Joe Petto and Pino, and we got this other guy who is, snooping around. He has a whole bunch of toys from Joe Petto, trying to figure out what's going on. His name is Noah. He turns out to be Derek's real father. He used to be with Derek's mom, but apparently he wasn't grown up enough, so she left him for this other guy. Hopefully the other guy who died knew that Derek wasn't his son, but I just find it, okay, I kind of laughed at this, because, this kid is stupid. The first scene is the kid comes upstairs, and he goes, Mom, he opens the door, and his parents are fucking. They're going to town on each other. They don't notice it. He opens the door, and and then shuts the door, and I'm going, that's the reaction? That couldn't be the first time he walked in on that. Because I swear, if I had walked in on that, I'd be like, ah! It's your parents doing it. You're not just... By the way, this kid shows no fucking emotion other than for the entire film. And I understand that the character is supposed to be going through trauma of losing a guy he thought was his father. But come on. This kid, and it's the little kid who played Little Bill in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. When they're in hell, and you got this little Bill and the granny, that little kid, that's him. And the whole film just, he wants, I don't know how they came around to write for this kid, but it doesn't work. He's just doesn't want anything to do with any presents. I understand if the first present he got killed someone, but he doesn't know that every present that he's going to get is going to kill someone. So I don't understand. There's another scene, though, too, with this kid, where his babysitter and her boyfriend are doing it in his room. She put him and sleep in the mom's room. I know there was a thing earlier about how he wanted to sleep in the bed with his mom because he was scared. But did it have to do with the room? I don't know. Anyway, he walks in, and there's toys crawling up on them about the killing. They're going to town on each other, too. This is also spliced together with his mom and Noah doing it in a car park at the hospital or whatever office, whatever office she works at. And they're doing it in the middle of the car park with the thing open, and they're just going to town on each other in there. It's just Really? No one's gonna drive by and see this? But Derek walks in, he stands there, and these toys are starting to creep up on these people. And he doesn't try to warn them. He just lets them continue fucking until the toys start to attack. And he's kidnapped by who appears to be Joe Petto. Now, Joe Petto is played by Mickey Rooney. And that is a little confusing if you think about what Mickey Rooney and this franchise and the connections. When the first film came out, Mickey Rooney was one of those who protested against it because of a killer Santa Claus. You know, he's infamous for voicing a Santa Claus in Santa Claus is Coming to Town. One of my favorite specials, by the way. But he dresses up as Santa Claus and kidnaps Derek in this. It's not his character, but still. And here is another big confusing part. Derek's mom has a friend named Kim, played by Neith Hunter, who has a son, I'm assuming it's her son, named Lonnie, played by Conan Yuzna. And Clint Howard has a cameo as one of the mall Santas whose name, you guessed it, is Ricky. Talk about confusing. Now I can assume that this Ricky that Clint Howard is playing is a different Ricky. He's more clean shaven. His hair is a little more different. It's probably a different Ricky. Sorry, itch. But this Kim even says, there's a line where she says, "You won't believe what I've gone through," and I'm like, that has to be the same Kim. But you know what would have made this more sense? If they hadn't made Janice from Part 4 one of the evil bitch ladies. And then she could have been the focus of this. Despite the fact that we didn't see her with any kids, but we didn't see her home life. We just saw her pop in and out. It would have worked, if it was the character of Janice, but it wasn't because you had to ruin that character in the previous film. And now you don't understand the connection between Kim and this woman who we never met before. And Kim she's a glorified cameo. She pops in here or there and doesn't really do anything. The babysitter too, like, why isn't she fucking dead? Like, the boyfriend gets totally murdered and she gets shot in the stomach or hit with something in the stomach, but she's still alive. And the last time we see her, she's still alive in Kim's arms. So, I don't know. The effects in this are still pretty good. Better than 3. About on par with 4. It's the same guy. So, ready for the twist? So, Pino shows up in the house, and Joe Petto says, in Derek's house, and Joe Petto says they used to live in that house when Pino was younger. And they were forced to move into the toy store. It's bullshit, so he can save his own ass, but that's the story that he tells. It turns out Pino is a robot. He's a toy. Joe Petto made him. He's what do you call that? An animatron? Whatever. He's a robot. And it turns out that the Joe Petto that took Derek is actually Pino in disguise as Joe Petto, and he killed Joe Petto earlier. There's a scene where Joe Petto is drunk and he knocks Pino down the stairs, and you think, oh no, he just killed his own son. But no, Pino's a robot, and then Pino killed Joe Petto. Then it gets weird. As if it wasn't weird enough with all these weird ass toys. Pino has decided he's going to kill Derek so that Derek's mom can be his mom. And then he starts to dry fuck her. Yeah, he's not anatomically correct either. He's just going at it with nothing. And he's screaming, "I love you, mommy. I love you, mommy. I want you. I want you. I love you, mommy." She stabs him with like a screwdriver or something. He starts to malfunction. And then she smashes his head in. So he's gone. But he gets cut in half. But then he's smashed. I'm just like, what? I am quoting Barry from... I'm quoting Barry Burton from Resident Evil going, what? What is this? It's a confusing sandwich. I can't... I have no idea how to deal with that. I got one more complaint, though. So Noah, that is Derek's real father, tells the mom, I don't remember her name, Jennifer, I think, whatever, tells her that he's been investigating Joe Petto because of the toys that killed. We find out that Pino was the one sending the toys, which makes more sense. I thought it was his son. I thought it was Noah sending the toys to his son, but it turns out no, it was Pino. He's Noah's been investigating. So yeah, and we know he's been watching them. So why hasn't he done something before this? He says that he took those apart trying to find something, but he didn't find anything, which I find baffling. And if this guy is so bad, then why hasn't he, done something? It's confusing. Like, I understand they show that he's poor, he's living in a hotel room, but I feel like he would do more than just, like, especially, like, he's been keeping an eye on the house, so wouldn't he know if Pino was sneaking in? I don't know. And he was there when Jennifer and Derek were shopping at Joe Petto's. So you think that he would, yell at them, get out, don't buy anything from here. But no. And he gives Derek a present. Right? No, but he's not able to give him the present, but I'm assuming it came from Petto's, right? So why would you, if you're investigating this, I know you didn't find anything, but why would you give it to him? This doesn't make any sense. Anyway, this movie for me, I'm going to give it the same one as the last one. I'm going to give it a 7. It's enjoyable. There's a lot of weird things. Just the ending kind of rips it out for me. But it's fine for what it is. I don't know how I'm going to rank these, but it's a 7. So what are your thoughts on Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.